Thank you for joining us today. My name's Doug. I'm with Maximum Wealth. I'm here again with Mike Buckner from Western and Southern Financial. We're here to continue our discussion on Social Security. This is the second segment in a series of 6 that we're going to do here for you guys. When can I claim on Social Security, or when should you claim, and how to choose that date and to make that choice to be as wise, as prudent as it can be at the moment that you make it, as well as how that will apply to you for the rest of your life, because you're making a decision, Mike,
Sure.
for the rest of your life.
Sure.
And you want to make sure, and there's a lot of things that go into that.
Right.
And I think people think they know, but I don't know that they really know, because
Right.
there's just so many factors that consume that. So
Right.
I'm going to throw it back over to you and say any I guess put it into context for us, what people need to be looking at when they initially think about drawing. Maybe it's 60, 61 before
Yeah.
that time comes.
Yeah, I think, and I had mentioned this in the previous segment, it's kind of confusing for a lot of folks as to when they should take benefits. And there's a lot of various factors that are built into it. It's just not a one fit for everybody. And you've got to remember, this is, from most cases, it's an irrevocable decision.
Right.
When you choose to take your benefits, you're pretty much stuck with what you have chosen. For most cases,
Right.
there are some little nuances there, technical things that we probably won't get into today. But for most individuals, once you pull that trigger, you're
Right.
stuck with that benefit.
Right.
What we used to see in the past is that most individuals would pull benefits at age 62.
Okay.
Probably well over 60-70% of individuals would pull
Wow.
that trigger at age 62.
Okay.
And what was the reason for that? It was shorter life expectancies in a lot of cases. If you were only going to live into your mid-70s, it would make sense to take benefits at age 62.
Right.
Nowadays, as people are living longer, you have to take a look at what impact that will have on a longer retirement,
Sure.
as well as if you're married, your spouse, etc. So what we're starting to see, and this could be due to a lot of education with Social Security, is the majority of people nowadays are waiting till their full retirement age.
Okay.
So the age that you can receive benefits, if your full retirement benefits, if you're a baby boomer, for most individuals it's age 66 and some odd months.
Right.
For me, I happen to be 53. I can get full benefits at age 67.
Okay.
Survivor benefits, believe it or not, kick in at age 60. So if I was to pass away, my spouse could claim benefits on my record at age 60 if she wanted to. Or you could wait to age 70 to claim benefits. That's
Right.
the latest age.
Right.
Some people will do that because they earn what's called delayed retirement credits.
Okay.
So for every year you delay taking your benefits beyond your full retirement age, you get an 8% credit. So
That's a pretty large credit.
it is a large credit. In a lot of cases, your benefits will be doubling or sometimes even tripling if you're waiting to that age.
Is that kind of like getting a 8% rate of return on that benefit, so to speak, each year? Is
Almost, yeah, it is very much like that. So
Okay.
it's an 8% increase, but don't also forget that Social Security has something else working for it, is your cost of living adjustment.
Okay.
And every year, most every year, we've seen this in the past where we've had 0% increases in benefits. They call them cost of living adjustments.
Sure.
And so it's averaged around 2.8% or so
Okay.
if you look back historically. But in most cases, you're going to see a COLA, or a cost of living adjustment, for Social Security. And that also will factor in, because not only will you get that 8% increase for every year you delay beyond your full retirement age,
Right.
but you'll also get that COLA adjustment.
Okay.
COLA adjustments may be changing. They've talked about doing that because one of the things that the government has been concerned about is that is Social Security going to be sustainable, because you have a smaller workforce now,
Right.
with the large amount of baby boomers leaving. So we may see some adjustments in there. Like I said in the first segment, Social Security, in my opinion, is not going anywhere. We need it. But again, going back to...
It's too political as well.
It's very political.
Yeah.
If you think about it, if I'm a politician, the last thing I'm going to tell you is...
I'm going to take your Social Security
I'm going to take
away.
your Social Security away. And it's really, it is a hot potato.
Right.
It is a hot political potato.
Yeah.
And I think that's why you don't see a whole lot of individuals talking about it. I mean, we probably need to do some things to shore up the system. And that, you could take my generation, for example, and say, listen, you're not going to get full benefits until age 68,
Right.
instead of age 67.
Sure.
So we'll see. Even my kids, I mean, their full benefit age or their full retirement age is age 67. What are their life expectancies going to be? Do they really need full benefits at age 67? Maybe we need to start looking to push that age out a little bit.
I guess the only thing that bothers me about, and I think what you're talking about there are some reforms, making changes to accommodate. The only thing that bothers me about that is the thing that was implemented in 1935 was for employers and their employees to contribute. And this is really the people's money, because even though the employer contributed, the person was still there working at his or her place of employment, and they earned that money, and that money was taken from them, whether it's the employer money or the money they contributed themselves, and it's put into a position to where they actually have it, and but somebody else is controlling it, meaning the federal government.
Right.
And so I do feel like that people, the folks that I'm talking to, have a degree of ownership of that money in their minds, so to speak.
They do.
And I feel like that there's a conflict there when they start doing that. That's what I've got here, some reforms that we're looking at that I wanted to talk to you about. And I think we could probably get into this in another segment, but I think me and you both realize that there's going to be some changes that have to be made to accommodate these, 75 million baby boomers
Yep.
that are retiring.
Yep.
I think we've only got 10 million that are retired. So we've got about 65 million more people
Yep.
that have to move into that retirement, Social Security, Medicare,
Yep.
pulling money from market to subsidize retirement, that type of thing. So
Yeah.
we've got some strain on the system that's fixing to happen out there.
Yeah, we do have a big strain in the system with that amount of people retiring, but like I said, there's probably going to be some changes, and we can talk about that in another segment. But right now, I mean, I'm putting 6.2% into the system.
Yeah.
Up to what's called the taxable wage base, which this year is 142,000. So most Americans are putting 6.2% of all of their wages into
Sure.
that system every
Sure.
single year. If you happen to make above that, then you don't put any more in.
Right.
But this year, we saw the largest increase in history of the taxable wage base.
Wow.
Last year it was 137,000. It's moved up to around 142,800 this year. So
Amazing. That's incredible.
Yep. So that's one of the ways they could shore up the system too.
Absolutely.
Is they could say, hey, we're going to start moving this taxable wage base up
Yeah.
and up and up.
Yeah.
That means wealthier individuals are going to be
Sure.
putting more into the system.
Sure. That's exactly right. And we know that wages haven't increased by that much. So the lower income people are going to suffer to some degree in that respect as well.
That is correct. So I think we talked about when can I get Social Security?
I think we need to kind of summarize here a little bit about what ages do you think that is there an average age, or do we have to kind of agree to say it's really based on individuals at that point in time? They really need to get advice. They really need to look into their situation and kind of search their minds and their hearts about how to do that with an advisor or with someone that knows about Social Security, not just wing it, so to speak, in making those decisions.
Yeah, because I think it's very important to take a look at things that I mentioned earlier is, your health, whether you're married, you take a look at all your other assets.
Right.
Do you have guaranteed income?
Yeah.
That's one of the things that is very concerning for a lot of people that retire. We know defined benefit plans, those pension plans that we used to have back in the day.
Gone away.
They're gone away, right.
Yeah.
People don't have those benefits.
Right.
So a lot of folks are left with one source of guaranteed retirement income.
Okay.
And so they need to look at, how do we manage this very wisely? And again, it goes back to a lot of things. It's just not one thing. It's, health, your status, whether you're married or not,
Right.
How long you think you're going to live, so, whether you need the funds.
Yeah,
So,
what's your cash flow situation?
what's your
like?
cash flow? Right, absolutely. So there's a lot of things that go into it, but most people today, like I had said previously, are waiting to their full retirement age. So that seems to be, if I was going to advise anybody, if I was going to make a generic statement, and I do not like making generic statements.
But that's okay. It's our podcast, so we can make generic statements.
So, but for most individuals, waiting till your full retirement age probably makes the most sense.
I agree.
Before that, again, look at your own situation, look at other factors, and work with an advisor that's educated on this topic, because like I said previously, you make the wrong choice, it's an irrevocable decision.
Right.
And you could be missing out on hundreds of thousands of dollars of benefits.
Sure. Well, that was my closing remark here, because I think we're drawing this segment to a close. And you tell me if I'm wrong, you know this number probably better than I do. But to make the wrong decision as to when you start drawing and when you actually file the claim could mean a difference in your lifetime or your retirement lifetime of anywhere between $250,000 to $350,000 that you would or would not receive based on the decision you make.
That is correct. Those numbers are pretty darn accurate when you look at benefits. If you pull them at age 62, which if you pull it at age 62, we know we get a reduced benefit for the rest of our life.
Right.
And again, that's an irrevocable decision. But those numbers, $200,000, $300,000 are pretty darn accurate as far as what you could be missing out on and what your spouse could be missing out on for a survivor benefit.
Yeah, that's kind of like a lump sum winning the lottery of about $500,000 there, based on the taxes on the lottery winnings. So it's just very important for people to make sure you're getting advice or advisement on how to make those Social Security choices. Just don't do it based on how mom or dad or your grandparents or your friends at work. This is a major decision, and that's what we're putting these videos together for, to help people to really make you think, not to actually give you advice as to what to do and how to make those choices, but to go seek advice and to make sure that they are understanding what's going on. Mike, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Please subscribe to our channel here at Maximum Wealth. Go visit our website, MaximumWealth.net. My name's Doug, and thank you for joining us today, and appreciate you tuning in.